episode of the Counselor's Desk. This is Dr. Beatrice Tembi. We are going to be talking to the wives. I hope you have noticed a pattern. When I talk to the husbands, I talk to the wives. Because the husband and wife, they make the two sides of the same coin, okay? Life is all about change. And marriage should challenge people for growth. Now, a wife is not a stooge. It's not a stooge. A wife has opinions. A wife can disagree with her husband on a point. She has the right to put forth her opinion in a discussion. Now, how is she supposed to disagree? How is she supposed to, put her point across if every time they are reminding her of submission? How is she supposed to challenge her husband for growth if whenever she, says something, they label her as the unsubmissive wife? That is what we are going to be talking about today. Welcome once again. I would like you to understand that the principle of authority and submission to authority is for the proper and orderly running of institutions, and not for the slavery of any member of that institution. And by institution, I mean, there are many institutions, in the Bible. The Bible talks about civil society. Citizens be submissive to civil authorities, okay? Also talks about in the church, members should be submissive to their leaders, okay? And then Christian households, servants should be submissive to masters. All of that is in the Bible. Children to parents, and then wives to husbands. It's just for the orderly running of the home. I want the wives to understand this. It's not because somebody is less valuable in the sight of God, than the other, okay? Now, how can you talk to your husband? Submit your opinion. How can you disagree? The first thing I want to let you know is that you need to know your husband. And this is the first part of a series of episodes, because there are, as far as temperaments are concerned, or types of husbands are concerned, we have 4 main types, and I'm going to be dealing with them in different episodes. Maybe I can do the first 2 today, So you need to know your husband. How did God create him? What his strengths and his weaknesses are. You need to know that. And of course, if you are somebody who reads, you must have known about these 4 types. They call them temperaments. I call them types, okay? Now listen, if your husband is a type 1 husband, you have to disagree with him in a particular way from if he were a type 2 or a type 3 or a type 4 husband. That's the mistake we make. Maybe our bosses in the office or our fathers were different types. You could just say no, Papa, and that is that. And then you come now, you're married to a type 1 husband, you don't say no to him. You are in trouble. Then you begin to wonder, but what is the problem? I just simply said a no. You don't just say a no to a particular type of personality. Are we together? So let's talk about type 1 and type 2 today. Okay? Now, if type 1 men or people are very dynamic and active. That's their strength. But then they have a weakness in the same time, at the same level. They are bossy and impatient. Okay? Great. I remember, just a small aside. I was teaching this thing in our Bible school. There is a course I handle called the Effective Minister. So I was telling the ministers to know themselves and to know their wives. In fact, I was even teaching this thing as far as wives are concerned, not even husbands. There was one student in class, a man, who was always like, oh, when I would say that maybe your wife is bossy. Oh, he was like, anything I say here about this type 1, the man will exclaim. It's all right. It's okay. It's not bad. So, yeah, that your husband. Now I'm talking to wives about husbands. Your husband may like to stimulate activity. He may be a strong-willed and decisive person. Okay, he may be independent and self-sufficient, and seeks practical solutions to issues. And then, of course, goal-oriented and moves quickly to action. And then but although he does all of this so well, he is somebody who has little tolerance for mistakes. This type 1 person may be right but not liked by people. Could be that's your husband. People always complain to you about him. Oh, he's harsh. They say he's harsh. He's not complimentary. He doesn't compliment people easily. You know, he likes to decide for the group and just say, we are going to do this. Maybe that's your husband. He just comes in, hey, baby, we are doing this. We are packing to this, without even asking your opinion. That's a weakness of that type. You know, he may be rude or tactless, doesn't even pamper you before saying something. You know, you have a type 1 husband. Okay, my dear, you have a type 1, you may have a type 1 husband. Now, how do you disagree with this kind of husband? He has said something you don't want, you say it's not correct. Don't you say, no, honey, I'm not going to do that. Don't try that with a type 1 husband. Okay? What you do with a type 1 husband is, you first of all applaud his what he wants to achieve by whatever he's saying, is deciding, or he's asking you to do. Look at the goal. Look at what, because he's a goal-oriented man, he's an achiever. Look at what he wants to achieve and applaud it. Okay? Acknowledge the ingenuity of coming up with that idea. That's how you start. I'm telling you, listen to me, it will help you. And then, when he sees that you are with him, you now tell him that you think there could be a faster way to achieve that goal. What if you guys do it this way and that way? Don't say no without offering any alternative. Because a type 1 person is an achiever. You can't stop him from achieving. When you say no, it's as if you don't want him to achieve, and he cannot stand that. So what you do with that kind of a personality, if I were talking to husbands, I would say the same thing. Let him know that you are working together with him to achieve the goal. But what you are differing with is the method, and what you are suggesting is a faster, they like speed. Faster method to achieve that thing that he wants to achieve. So you have disagreed in a kind of way. Okay? If you even say no, you will not stop him from doing it. So don't waste your time to say no. Then, how do you present your opinion to a type 1 person? Listen, forget about preambles and details and emotions when you are presenting an opinion. Don't start thinking that you tickle his emotion. He will not buy into that at all. Don't come to a type 1 husband and start by crying when you want to present an opinion. You irritate him. Hello? This is what you do. You have to be quick and to the point, and you have to go straight to the end result of what you are suggesting. You have an opinion, you want to put it, begin by the end result. If you want an opinion, you want your child to be put in a particular school and not in the other one, and you come to your husband to put that opinion, tell him that children of this school scored this percentage in this exam. Brief and to the point, and make sure you know where your information is coming from, because he'll ask you, where did you get that information from? You ask you. You understand? So there are, you just go first of all to the end result, what you think will be achieved by this opinion that you are about to present. And then, of course, so you are telling him the what he will achieve, and then he will ask questions. Be ready with answers and with statistics. Because there are people who want to achieve, they don't want to beat about the bush. If you understand that, I'm telling you, I know it may take a long time but study it and work on it. You understand? Work on it. Go straight to the end result, and then when he asks you, now you start giving the route, the route you will take to, or both of you have to take to get that result. Are we together? Amen. I'm happy with that. Okay? Try it, it will help a lot of. Nobody will tell you you are insubmissive, but you will really be a positive influence in the life of your husband. Good. Today is just teaching. I don't seem to have any story today. Let me go to the type 2. Type 2 husbands. Type 1 husband, some people call them choleric. Type 2 husbands, some people call them sanguine. Okay? Emotional, they're emotional. They're demonstrative. They can talk with actions, They're always enthusiastic about things. And they can express themselves. Maybe that's how your husband is. Always convincing you of things that... Okay? Because he can be enthusiastic about something, a good sense of humor. He likes people. He likes the friends of his children. The friends of his children, when they come home, they are more happy, they are more at ease with him than with you. Sister, do you know that kind of a husband? They love him. Type 2 people always see humor in some sad situation. They will just turn tragedy into humor and people will laugh, They make friends easily. They love having people around them. Maybe that's your husband, They don't hold grudges for long, And they like spontaneous activity. Just when you want to start, I say, honey, let's. Oh, no, you don't need to worry. I've already gone ahead. I've already made plans. Meanwhile, he's telling you something. He has already done everything because he's a spontaneous guy. Okay. And on the other hand, he has some weaknesses because he can easily be deceived. He buys into people's ideas. Too often they deceive him. He talks loudly. He laughs loudly. Circumstances control him a lot. He doesn't listen to the whole story before he starts talking. Those are small weaknesses. That if you have that kind of a husband who dominates conversations, repeats stories, he has told you one story about how many times. He still keeps telling you. When I was in the secondary school, he will say the story again. You may have that kind of a husband, okay? Now, how do you disagree with that kind of a husband? So that he will not feel that, oh, this woman is not submissive, he wants to suppress me in this house. Please, how do you disagree with him? Start with humor. Humor, he likes to laugh, okay? Laugh loudly with him. When he when he brings something, he brings up an idea which that. First of all, don't bother to disagree with many of his ideas because they will not even work in the first place. He himself will not even follow up with some of those things he brings up. He's a spontaneous guy. Most of those things he says, he will not even do. So don't bother yourself too much to disagree with some of those things, okay? But the ones you see that he's actually planning to do and they are not really, you think you should disagree with them. Let him see how funny the outcome may look of that thing he says he's going to do. Don't just say, no, which kind of thing is this? No, let him laugh with him and say, but you know that after this, when this thing happens, it will be very funny now. And then all of you will laugh and he just let him see it, that people may ridicule it. People may laugh, at it because he's very concerned about what people say. So always use fun, use humor with a type 2 husband. Have you heard me, sister? Don't be when you are too serious, you confuse a type 2 husband. When the atmosphere is tense and you are grumbling and you are saying no, this thing cannot work in this house, the guy would be at times, you see, he's just looking frustrated in his own home because he thought it was a very wonderful thing he's coming to give to you or to present to you. Hello, are we there, sister? If you have a type 2 husband and you are somebody who doesn't like fun, doesn't like humor, you need to work on that, because you must learn to laugh. Everything for him is jokes. Before he sees the seriousness, you must learn to laugh, okay? And then, how do you present an opinion to a type 2 husband so that he will not think that you want to overpower him in the house? Be enthusiastic and emotional about your opinion. Be enthusiastic and emotional. If you don't want him to, let's say you don't want the child to go into particular school, I'm just using that as a simple, you want him, just go to the school that you don't want the child to go to, get a few wrong things that happened there, and be very emotional about it. Can you imagine? When I heard this, it's as if my heart would break. How can people treat children this way? You know, he likes that. That's what touches him. Be enthusiastic and be emotional about your opinion. A type 2 husband can relate very well with emotions. Give real life testimonies of how this thing worked with others. If you want to influence him positively, maybe to buy a plot or something, give real life testimonies. How others were affected by this, or that, You may have noticed that whether you are making a suggestion, or you are contributing to a discussion, or you are disagreeing with your husband's point of view, the most important question that will be in his mind, although he may not verbalize it, and which you must try to answer whether he asks it or not, is, if it's a type 1, what are the benefits of what you are proposing, and how will it help me achieve my overall goal? That's what will be in his mind. So you must answer it. And then for a type 2 is, who else has done this, and how is it affecting their lives? Is it successful to them? You have to answer it. So what and who else? Great. You may be sitting in your home and be saying, no, I cannot do all this. That's how I'm not I don't crack jokes. I'm a serious person. I know you could be saying that, but listen, life is all about change, as we said. Okay? You want to keep your marriage. You want to keep your home. You must go an extra mile to learn what you ought to learn, and to keep away what you ought to keep away. Some women will say, no, I say the things the way they are. I say my things the way they are. You can't do that. You have to work on that if you have any of these types of husbands. Okay? And then you need to just turn this around. I could say the same things to husbands concerning their wives. If you have a type 1 wife and you want to disagree with her, or you want to propose something to her, use the same methods. I can say the same things to friends. I can say the same things to colleagues in the office, about their boss. How is your boss? A type 1 personality or a type 2? Just use the same thing, and life and relationship will be so easy for you. Okay? So that's that. I know you've been blessed. Work on it and see how changes will take place in your home that you never dreamt of. God bless you. Don't forget to like, to click, to share, and to subscribe. See you next time.